does an Akashic Record reading look like? So I had somebody ask me this the other day, and I figured I'd come on and share in case you want to have yours read, or if you want to become an Akashic Record reader for others or for self. So I will say, just like we are all beautiful snowflakes and we are all different from one another, every single Akashic Record reader is going to be different from somebody else because they have their own experiences, own perceptual lenses, the different ways that they like to read, the rituals that they do beforehand or during. And so you're going to get a different experience every time, but the Akashic Records as a whole is supposed to help you understand yourself on deeper levels and teach you how to see yourself from an outside perspective. So that current runs the same. So you can tap into more of your multidimensionality, but the way that people go about it and read for others or read for selves can look very different. Because I have a background in mental health and psychology, I think it's really important to speak to people's human minds and also their multidimensional selves. And so I like to bring both of those aspects in, because you're a 3D being, but then you're also a multidimensional 5D and above being. And so coaching practices are implemented into my sessions, but I'm also a Reiki practitioner, a light language channeler, and I use quantum healing. So those are all encapsulated within each session. So what I help people with generally is timeline healing. So this is where we're going in and speaking to your inner children or different incarnations of yourself. A lot of people call these past incarnations, but they're actually concurrently running with one another because time is not linear. So this can look like us going into your records and speaking with a different incarnation to help them heal, or them healing you, or you getting a mentor from a different higher self version of you to help you up level your spiritual gifts, your psychic abilities, help you with trauma healing. We also go in and speak with your inner children, the consciousness of them, not the memory. We're actually traveling in time to their energetic timestamp. So a lot of our behavioral patterns and triggers come from childhood, because that's when we're getting programmed and taught how reality works from other people, from their own trauma projections. And so we actually go in and speak with that child in that time and space and unravel the trauma and move them into the current timeline that you're living in, because oftentimes they are in the movie thinking that the trauma is still happening over and over and over again. And what we do is we remove them from that and show them, oh, you're just looking at a memory. That's not actually happening right now. And let's move you forward with the adult version. And my ultimate goal with people is teaching you how to take these tools and practices with you for you to be able to do them with self. So I am teaching you how to see yourself from an outsider perspective, how to shift up into your higher self so you can talk back to you in the present, because that's often where people get stuck too, is because if you're trying to make changes in your life and you're not seeing changes, it's because you're coming from your own consciousness state. So you have to kind of switch gears and go up a level in consciousness in order to get new downloads, intuitive nudges and guides, in like a playbook of how to make forward movement. The type of work that I do differs a little bit from past life regression, because past life regression is really helping you remember different incarnations that you've been in. When I go in with people, I'm actually taking you into your Akasha field so you can actually speak with that version of you, because they're still in existence within a snapshot of the Akasha field or the etheric field. So they're still alive and breathing. It's blipping into different chapters of your soul. And the Akashic Records are great for things outside of timeline healing, even though they are timeline healing still, but it's getting you to be able to ask self questions about, how do I make forward movement with my finances, or my interpersonal relationships, or my career, or get into my soul purpose. And the ritual aspect of it, so when I first started doing readings, I would utilize a prayer and I would do very specific things in order to access it. But as I got further into my own spiritual awakening journey, I realized those things were just permission slips, and I had done so many readings at that point that I didn't really need the same rituals. Rituals are great because it helps flip your mind, like, oh, we're getting ready to go in this frequency. But there does come a point where you can automatically do it, which is what I can do now. So the rituals that I do more so is for the other person. And that looks like, before we get on a session, I connect with your chakras and I ask each one what kind of crystal would best heal it or help it in its evolution. And I build a crystal grid based on your chakra system. I also pull 3 oracle cards because imagery is really good for your subconscious, and it'll also deepen the messaging. We don't go over them in the session, but I always send them afterwards. We also do a 2-minute grounding meditation when we first get on together on Zoom. So that way we're in the right mind space and we're calm and centered. And I go over the session in detail. This is exactly what's going to happen. So that way they feel more comfortable and secure in knowing, hey, this is what the layout is going to look like. And then I always tell them that I'm going to send them a replay after the session. That way they have it with them and they can go back over it, because I like for people to be fully present, and recording it gives them a way to be able to go back to it and review if they have additional questions or want to glean different insights. Now, what I am doing in the Akashic Record session is I am serving as a channeler for your higher self. I have a lot of tools and resources that I have picked up in my spiritual awakening journey, coaching, Reiki, quantum healing, all those things. But ultimately, what is happening is I am a direct channel to your timelines and your higher self. And so it's a co-collaborative experience. This is me being your higher self in that moment and asking you questions so you can better understand yourself, whether that's how to heal trauma, how to talk to your inner children, how to do quantum manifestation, timeline shifting, how to be that observer, or how to shift into your higher self. But when you are talking to me, you are talking to your higher self. I am channeling from them. And it's always a super fun experience. I love talking with people's higher selves and their guides and learning all different things about timelines. Becoming an Akashic Record reader is a beautiful, beautiful gift, because you just get to see so many different dimensional spaces and frequencies within people. That's how I've been able to access the angel realm, the fairy realm, the dragon realm, just have such a bigger understanding of how timelines work, because I've seen so many with so many people. And so it expands my own web and well of knowledge and wisdom. And so it's been a incredibly beautiful journey, and highly recommend to get into it. And if you have any questions, I would love to hear them. You can put them in the comments and I'll create a video response. Or if you're an Akashic Record reader, I would love to hear what your processes are with your clients.